3 more minutes to go, and then we start evaluation part. What we've done is we've uh, the test in the last 1.5 hours, and now we are going to evaluate entire test करके उठाएंगे. Okay, let me just open the evaluation part. Some students have already submitted it. I will try and evaluate the new students test first. जो लास्ट टाइम कल हमने सबमिट टेस्ट evaluate करे थे उनको नहीं करेंगे पहले, उनको बाद में उठाएंगे get the time. Otherwise we'll first evaluate the new one. देखिए RBI result has come out and I have seen a lot of students जिन लोगों ने personally कॉल करके भी बताया है that these tests that they wrote before RBI exam, now in RBI exam here, immediately after phase 1 we started with writing program और हम लोगों ने 30 दिन regularly we wrote for the 30 days after phase 1, and that worked wonders for a lot, and they have got selected. ऐसे बहुत सारे students selection भी हुआ है. Please take this writing program seriously, whether it is happening for please enrolled interested कि आप seriously लें इसको, and also for students writing NABARD, then should be taking it seriously, and you should take it yourself as well every day. Even if I am not coming with a test, you should be writing it regularly yourself. Manish sir is already taking these sessions for enrolled. Tomorrow we don't have one because Diwali है तो ये आएगा भी नहीं. Day after tomorrow we have one. We're going to have these sessions regularly till phase 2, and he's telling me that he started witnessing an improvement in for regularly coming and writing. Please, that it's for you, and if you really want to clear the examination, really want to survive, then give everything in your power. Clear the examination in your first or latest attempt itself. काफ़ी ज़्यादा बोली. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. इट्स 9:35. लेट्स स्टार्ट. निश्चल इज वन टुडे. लेट्स सी व्हाट ही हैज़ रिटन. ईएसआई का उठाते हैं सबसे पहले. लेट्स पिक अप दी कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन. ईएसआई कंपल्सरी up. The question is, my voice is breaking. Let me just. Is it fine now? Just let me know. It should be fine now. A question by Prasanna. Word limit कितनी होती है and do we need to adhere with it or not? You can exceed the word limit, but try to reach the word limit or at least 90% of the. सिंपल लॉजिक है. देखिए एक बहुत सारी चीज़ों में ना बहुत सिंपल है. यहाँ पे सिंपल कॉमन सेंस वाली चीज़ है. The more you write, the more content you have, the easier it is for the examiner to judge you, and his judgment is expected to be better because you've written. ज़्यादा पॉइंट्स आपने लिखे होंगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छा एग्जामिनर को लगेगा. ऑटोमेटिकली ही इज गिव यू मोर. इट्स एज सिंपल है. Okay, the year 1991 marked a watershed in the process in economy discussed in the light of economics. सबसे पहले it's important to understand what the question is. That's the first thing that you do before starting with your writing. सबसे पहले आपको यही देखना होता है कि यार पूछा क्या गया है. Indirect question है, but what it is asking is what happened in 1991? What were the reforms? Overall हमारे LPG reforms के अंदर क्या क्या आता है? What all is encompassed under 1991 LPG reforms? That's what it is asking. because it says the year 1991 marked a watershed in the process of. Matlab something changed drastically after 1991. That means the reforms that we carried out, it is asking about. As simple. I hope all the students have written this only. The voice is still breaking. Please check now if it is still breaking or not. अभी break नहीं होनी चाहिए. Okay. So I hope all the students have written on this only, that whatever happened after 99, in 1991, how it impacted the process of growth in the future, right? So what were the reforms in 1991? Let's see what Nischal has written here. 1991 reforms is an important chapter in the history of Indian economy. These reforms not only changed the way we look at economy, but also the way we function. The nature of economy changed from being protective and closed to an open, challenging and competitive one. However, there were certain reasons that led to this necessary change. Okay, तो आप आपने सबसे पहले बात करी है causes of the reforms. What happened before 1991 that we carried out reforms? BOP crisis due to lack of forex in competitive domestic market, huge financial burden due to welfareist measures. All these led to the government approach IMF for financial support. The conditions put by IMF and proper guidance of economists led to introduction of these reforms. ठीक है, basic लिखा है. Reforms क्या थे? Dubbed as LPG by media, they were a combination of structural and macroeconomic reforms. Good one. Now this could have been even in more detail, because अगर मैं if I put it in a notepad, कितने words का बन रहा है ये? Let me see. अच्छा, you could not complete the answer. I can see that. Let me put it in a notepad and see. Notepad में तो आएगा भी नहीं. I'll have to put it in Word. But I think it's somewhere around 200, 300 words, not more than that. 300 words. 322 words बन रहा है. Almost half of what is required, right? Because it's a 15 marker, that means 600 words. So you need at least 500 to be convincing enough, right? तो वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा problem है. Please try and work on the word limit that you're following. Okay, that's fine if you could not complete it because it was the last one. But make sure it doesn't happen in the examination. Why? Because uh, completing the test is your first priority. उसके बाद और सब चीज़ें आती हैं. Okay. Okay, let's start. Reducing financial fiscal burden through measures like reducing subsidies, increasing excise duties, disinvestment of government companies, reduction of taxes, liberal industrial policies like abolition of licensing in various sectors promoted private players to emerge. Financial reforms were introduced by setting of financial markets, FDI, current account convertibility, flow of credit to ensure ensured markets, industries to spend more on required capital. Trade reforms in the form of import liberalization, reducing import duties, devaluation of rupee. आप एक एक करके लिख सकते थे. You could have first talked about liberalization reforms, then privatization reforms, then globalization reforms. अभी वो mix हो रहा है. Okay. Those would be three different paragraphs which would have sub paragraphs probably. Autonomy to PSUs also made sure that they became efficient and profitable. Private banks, financial institutions were allowed to be set up. Government influence in banking was reduced. This helped in more economic growth. ठीक है. Overall decent one. You could not complete, so वहाँ पे थोड़े number कट जाएंगे. But because the way we've written is good enough, थोड़ा सा explanation बढ़ा सकते. I would give you 7 out of 15. If you had written a complete answer, I would have easily given you about if not more than probably 10 out of 15. Okay, so incomplete answer. Other than that, the explanation could be more detailed, right? Perfect. चलिए, let's move forward. अभी पांडे का उठा लेते हैं. अभी पांडे, the first one, the first test, I believe. Okay, आपने कोई भी नहीं लिखा है क्या? यू रिटन जस्ट वन आंसर. तो ये एक प्रॉब्लम है बिकॉज अगर आप 1.5 घंटे में इफ यू राइटिंग in 90 minutes one answer, then automatically it becomes incomparable, because then out of 50 marks you're anyways going to get, यहाँ पे 10 नंबर का है, so you're going to get probably 6 marks, 5 marks, if at all 7 marks. तो 50 में से आपके साथ ही आए हैं. ओके, probably you started late, that's fine. देखते हैं, let's see. Okay, what is agroclimatic zone? Enumerate agroclimatic zones of India and explain the importance of agroclimatic zones classification in India. Agroclimatic zone क्या है? What is? Then we have to talk about agroclimatic zones of India, and then we have to talk about importance of agroclimatic zone classification. So the first question is, what is an agroclimatic zone? Can be defined as the land unit mass uniform in respect of climatic conditions and length of growing period prevails over that area. There are various classification as per Planning Commission. Total number of zones 15. According to National Agriculture Research Project, total number is 127. Maximum in state of Madhya Pradesh 15 as per Planning Commission are. थोड़ा सा एग्रोक्लाइमेटिक जोन पे you could have enumerated or talked a little more about it. What is an agroclimatic zone? क्यों बनाई जाती है, कहाँ से आती है, what, why, how, ये सब चीज़ों पे बात करी जा सकती है. You could have talked about it. Okay, so that's very important. बहुत ज़रूरी है वो, क्योंकि it's a 10 marker, it's an answer. It's very important that you talk in detail about. तो 10 नंबर का है तो this is also of 2 marks. This is 2 marks. This is agroclimatic zones in India, let's say 3 marks, and this probably is for 5 marks. इस तरह का कुछ classification होता है. Okay, so for 2 marks you should be writing at least 2-3 sentences. Okay, अब zones क्या हैं? You've talked about that. Western Himalayan zone covering northern hilly states with very low cropping intensity. Eastern Himalayan zone, yes. Lower Gangetic zone, mostly alluvial zone. Middle Gangetic, fertile alluvial soils covering most of Bihar and UP. Upper Gangetic, UP, Trans-Gangetic plain zone. Eastern Plateau and Hill zone, Central Plateau and Hill zone. ठीक है, this is fine. ठीक है, so ये आपने ठीक लिखा है. Now the last part of the question is importance of zones classification. Let's see if you have written that or not. India has vast stretch of land extending from north to south, east to west. Different paths, climatic conditions vary sharply. Biotic as well as abiotic factors play an important role. Climatic variables like rainfall, temperature, humidity, along with physiographic variables like altitude, slope, and aspects determines the vegetation and flora. In order to understand relationship of these and to shift from extensive farming to intensive farming, Planning Commission classified India into different climatic zones. It plays pivotal role in policy making and site-specific cropping pattern determination. ठीक है, but it's too small. Okay, it could have been a little more detailed. Points में आप आंसर कर सकते थे different paragraph में. The first importance is uh, farming, how farming is done. The second importance is policy making. Okay. The third importance is determination of cropping pattern. इस तरह से आप 3-4 बना सकते थे. It would have looked better. ठीक है ना? But I'll anyways give you 6 out of 10. अच्छा आंसर लिखा है आपने overall. Please make sure that you write this kind of an answer in every question. ठीक है ना? सब में आप इस तरह से लिखें. That's very important. Okay, Shri Devi. That's an interesting name. Let's see what Shri Devi ji has written. This is a new one. So ESI question number 2 or 3. Let's see. I think she's written on question number 2. जो लोगों ने भाई ऐसा ना करें that I am checking because I am checking only Shri Devi's answer, so she only pays attention, because whatever she has written would have some comparability, some connection with the way you have written, and the way I'm checking it, whatever feedback I'm providing, it's going to be important for your answer as well. तो प्लीज़ सारे फीडबैक को बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये. ठीक है ना? प्रॉब्ली वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ दिस एक्सरसाइज that you listen to every feedback carefully, because every feedback is important for you as well. आपके लिए भी वो गलती हो सकती है. ओके, ऋषभ, आई चेक योर्स आफ्टर दिस, डोंट वरी. चलिए, let's have a look at the question. Define human development. How has this concept evolved? Discuss all the aspects and dimensions of human development. Straightforward question है भाई, ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट क्या है, वो कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे इवॉल्व हुआ है, एंड व्हाट आर द डायमेंशंस ऑफ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट. अलग अलग डायमेंशंस ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट के क्या है. ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट क्या है, कॉन्सेप्ट कहाँ से आया है, एंड डायमेंशंस ऑफ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट. ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इज द ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ह्यूमन, like good health, education, skill, equal opportunity, standard of living, necessary for growth and development of a country. न्यू ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट क्या है ये आपने ब्रीफली बता दिया. फीचर्स ऑफ ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट, ओके. इवोल्यूशन आई थिंक यू मिस्ड, ठीक है. फीचर्स, गुड हेल्थ इन इंडिया, इन्फेंट मोर्टेलिटी इज दिस, अंडर 5 mortality is this, maternal mortality is this, malnutrition is also more prevalent, but compared to last 2 decades, health system has improved, health is wealth, the person with good health can work and contribute to country's growth. ये पहला सेंटेंस होना चाहिए था. How is good health an important aspect of human development? Because when a person is healthy, only then he can contribute to growth and development of the nation. Okay, that's how health of every individual becomes important. Okay, education, आपने पहले नंबर दिया है, नंबर हमेशा बाद में देते हैं. नंबर इज अ जस्टिफिकेशन, फैक्ट इज अ जस्टिफिकेशन ऑफ योर आर्ग्यूमेंट, it is not the argument. Okay, in India literacy rate is just 72%. Better education can create a better person, it creates more knowledge persons in the society. Education creates confidence, provides livelihood opportunities, helps you to think critically. It is a basic need to make a person complete. Again same चीज़ दिख रही है यहाँ पर भी. Okay, I hope you understood it, श्री देवी. जो मिस्टेक है छोटी सी. Standard of living, better housing, sanitation, drinking water, etc. are necessary for person to lead better life. Skill development, skills are necessary for changing technology. Skilled person can get better jobs and earn better. Equality in opportunity, persons should get equal opportunities in economical, political and social aspects. गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स, अब सरकार ने क्या क्या इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं. न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, ये सब आपने लिखा है, ठीक है. ओवरऑल इट्स अ डिसेंट आंसर, बट थोड़ा सा और, एक तो एवोल्यूशन इज मिसिंग, सो दैट्स प्रॉब्ली 2 marks or 3 marks that you've missed completely. See, this is something which has not been seen in RBI NABARD exams yet, but there are very high chances that this will happen. Now, what is this that I'm talking about? Multiple questions under one question. UPSC में ऐसा होता है, you have multiple questions under one question. Okay, यहाँ पर भी ये हो सकता है, that's why this question has been planted here. 3 क्वेश्चन पूछे गए एक ही क्वेश्चन के अंदर. What is human development, evolution, and then all dimensions of human development. ठीक है ना. I'll give you 6 on 10. It could have been 7 or 7.5 very easily if you had. In fact 6 भी नहीं, 5.5 ही दे पाऊंगा, because you completely missed concept evolved, evolution of the concept. Evolution is missing. Okay, aspects and dimensions में you've understood, I hope you've understood the mistake. Argument first and facts later. Okay, overall decent answer. चलिए ऋषभ का उठा लेते हैं, because he's been writing regularly, I can see that. ओके, सो यू कुड नॉट कंप्लीट वन क्वेश्चन है, 15 मार्कर आपने छोड़ा है. भाई ये उल्टा ना करें, प्लीज़ राइट 15 मार्कर्स फर्स्ट. ये गलती ना करें, प्लीज़ डोंट मेक दिस मिस्टेक. आपके एग्री के आई कैन सी द आंसर्स आर देयर, बट इन ESI you could not complete 15 marker and you completed 10 marker. It should have been otherwise, that you complete a 10 marker 15 marker first and then focus on a 10 marker. ओके देखते हैं, लेट्स सी ये आपने कैसा लिखा है. Question number 3. Since its implementation, PM Fasal Bima Yojana has been a bumpy ride for all the states and beneficiaries critically examined. PM Fasal Bima Yojana has been a bumpy ride for all the states and beneficiaries. मतलब फसल बीमा योजना के कुछ फायदे रहे हैं, कुछ नुकसान रहे हैं. Some pros and some cons. Some ways in which it has performed well, some areas or some ways in which it has not been able to perform well for states and beneficiaries both. दोनों की बात यहाँ पे करनी important है. So what is PM फसल बीमा योजना? To provide insurance cover to farmer for their crop failure. ठीक है, basic features. Replace National Agriculture Insurance Scheme, aims to provide crop insurance to the farmer. Beneficiary are all farmer including sharecropper and tenant farmer. Uniform premium for the crop is 2%, 1.5%, 5% for commercial. ठीक है. Andhra Pradesh re-implemented the scheme. Since its inception, it has witnessed various criticism from the states. States like Bihar, Jharkhand, Telangana have opted out of the scheme, citing following reasons. सबसे पहले अब तो आप जब भी bumpy ride मतलब both pros and cons. How has it helped the states and beneficiaries and how has it not helped? What are the leakages? तो पहले आपको बात करनी चाहिए थी हाउ हैज़ इट हेल्प्ड. क्या फसल बीमा योजना ने कंट्रीब्यूट किया है, क्योंकि यू ऑलवेज स्टार्ट विद अ पॉजिटिव वन. हमेशा आप एक पॉजिटिव से नोट से स्टार्ट करते हो. देन यू टॉक अबाउट ओके डिस्पाइट दीज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस दीज पॉजिटिव थिंग्स देर आर सम इश्यूज, there are some leakages, there are some problems. Let's talk about them. Okay. Financial burden due to being centrally sponsored, state governments have obligation as the major premium has to be paid by the states. Delayed payment, insurance companies are delaying the payment to the farmer. ठीक है. Lack of penetration. ठीक है. Lack of coverage. ठीक है. Implementation issues, insurance companies are opting out due to reinsurance and administrative cost. ठीक है. The points are good with respect to the challenges. The good things are missing. PMFBY is a beneficial scheme which mitigates the risk of various provisions of the scheme, can be looked upon and improved. Incentives should be given to states and insurance companies, increasing the coverage of the scheme and including allied activities in the scheme such as dairy and poultry. Overall good answer. जो missing है वो मैंने आपको बता दिया. Whatever you have written, that's good. For that I'll give you 6. Okay. Uh, the successes and contributions of PMFBY are missing, right? Bumpy ride मतलब दोनों चीज़ें, both the things. Okay, because you're anyways riding. Okay. Yes, you can mention subheadings in capital letters. That's completely fine. In the final exam, you might not be able to uh, do it in caps. I don't remember clearly. जब से मैंने लिखा है तो उसके बाद मुझे याद नहीं है. बट वहाँ पे जो डायरेक्शंस होती हैं आंसर राइटिंग की, प्लीज़ गो थ्रू देम वेरी carefully because you will get to understand a lot of things about how to write and what not to write, what not to do through those directions. And those directions change every year. They keep coming out with new things. For example, एक छोटी सी चीज़ मैं आपको बता देता हूँ. Whenever you're writing, जैसे हमने मान लीजिए पांडे जी का उठाया, फिर से evaluate कर रहे हैं. So whenever you're writing, let's say you write the answer is wonderful, full stop. Now you don't put a space bar after this, no space bar. If you want to go to the next paragraph, immediately you press enter. If you press a space bar and then you press an enter, तो फिर क्या होता है? When the examiner gets to see it, he will see it as if you're writing from here. It could have been better. ऐसा कुछ उसको दिखेगा. Okay. But if you're not pressing a space bar, a full stop, immediately enter, he will see something like this. Okay. Now this was found in the directions only. ऐसा नहीं है कि specifically RBI or NABARD came out with these directions separately. Before you start writing, uh, something, before you start writing the answers, वहाँ पे directions में वो लिखा होता है. Okay. Factic Haas is saying bumpy ride literally means having a bad time with something. देखो, you have to understand that you are going into policy making, you're going into the government. In that case, it's very important that if you want to be rational, you have to talk about both the sides, unless the question specifically says that you talk about only one side. Okay. तो यहाँ पर भी ऐसा ही है, बिकॉज स्पेसिफिकली बहुत आउटराइटली ऐसा नहीं बोला है कि आप बस इसी डायमेंशन की बात करेंगे. It's important that we talk about both the sides. Otherwise, your marks will suffer. Okay, that's a reality. That's how it is. You have to talk about both the sides and then come to a conclusion. Otherwise, your answer is not complete because your argument is one sided. Your argument is not complete itself. Okay. ठीक है, चलिए. So this was the session for today. I hope जो भी answers check किए हैं, students will be able to use those checkings to check their own answers as well, to understand कि उन्होंने कहाँ गलत लिखा होगा, कहाँ सही लिखा होगा. Now, day after tomorrow, we are going to have a session for enrolled students from 25th onwards. 25th to 28th, we are going to have sessions regularly. 25, 26, 27, 28, 4 days. So, two tests each we are going to conduct for both ESI as well as answer, English writing. Okay. चलिए, लेट्स क्लोज द सेशन नाउ. सारे चेक नहीं हो सकते हैं, दैट्स हाउ इट इज़, बट जो मैंने चेक किए हैं उससे बहुत लोगों को बहुत सारा आइडिया मिला होगा. आई एम वेरी श्योर अबाउट दैट. ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट गाइज, टेक केयर, आई विल सी यू वेरी वेरी सून अगेन. बाय बाय, हैव अ नाइस दिवाली.